Hello and welcome to this week's video. Today I'm going to be reuniting China under Mao. We're going to be going Iron Man and ahistorical. The starting situation for communist China is to put it lightly, horrible. We start with 6 under-equipped divisions, 2 factories, and 2 research slots. Our army also mainly consists of militia, making it possibly even worse than it already was. For now, I'm just going to put my army on the border of Gansu Ma. The one thing we currently have going for us is we have a lot of pretty good generals. For now, my army is just going to be under Lin Bao. Focus-wise, I'm doing the only available focus. For research, I'm going to be researching 1936 guns and Construction 1. Construction-wise, I'm just going to put things in a queue, those being civilian factories and military factories. However, they're not being built anytime soon. We also happen to have the best system this game has ever seen, right behind border conflicts, that being a balance of power between Mao and someone else. We're just going to be going all in on Mao for this. As you can see here, we only have 1 military factory, so for the next year, I'm going to be focusing entirely on industry. Then I'll be going into political and the military stuff. It now seems like the Germans are going ahistorical. You have got to be kidding me. The illegitimate government in China appears to be going the fascist path, which is the one I was hoping they wouldn't do. At last, the Northeastern Army has withdrawn from our territories, meaning we now have a whole lot more population and more land to work with. The Northeastern Army's withdrawal from our territories resulted in us gaining 2 military factories and also 500,000 manpower. With this, I'm pretty much going to be going all in on guns, since that's all our army uses currently. After about a year of building up our economy, I believe it is now time to begin to modernize and prepare our military for the eventual reunification. The fascist regime appears to have such a poor quality military that they can't even take out 3 warlords at once. I'm now finally beginning to create a proper template for my divisions. This template by any means is still not good, however it is better than what we currently have. It's just a basic 14 width with support artillery. What I will say, though, is that having 2 research slots is horrible. I am impressed. It seems like the Chinese finally managed to capitulate a warlord. They've still got a couple more to go, but I doubt they're going to capitulate the rest. I'm also going to be turning all of my divisions into the more usable ones I've designed earlier. I've decided I'm going to be adding 2 more infantry battalions to my divisions to make them more usable. I've now completed the majority of my military focuses I can do at the moment, so I'm going to be going over to my political tree, and I will be doing efforts to form the Chinese United Front. The Chinese Red Army is still not in the best shape, however it is in a far better shape than it previously was. After all my army reforms, I think it's finally time to try a border conflict. And we lost. Why did they think it's a good idea to further expand the war they can't win with another mountainous warlord? How stupid are they? We've now formed the Chinese United Front, and shockingly enough, the fascists were the first members to join. And they were shortly followed by the rest of the warlords, aside from the ones they were at war with. I will be aiding the bourgeois government here in China in their wars against some of the other warlords, so that I can expand communism at least a little bit. Alright, there's the first warlord down. 2 more to go. I'm going to try and take as much territory as I can. Shockingly enough, they're just letting me get all this land for free. I'll now be sending my army down to the Northeastern Army. And there goes the Northeastern Army. Now, I don't have enough war score to take anything, but strangely enough, they're just giving me the land. Now it's time to capitulate the final warlord, the Sichuan clique. And now that ends this war against the warlords here. I don't have enough war score to take everything, however, they're just gonna give it to me. I don't know why they aren't trying to take anything, but I'll take it. The shape of our nation isn't the most pleasing to the eye, however, it will improve eventually. For an undetermined length of time, I'm going to now be building up my military to rival that of the Chinese Popular State. Currently, it is pathetic. The bourgeois fascist scum have now left our faction so that they can go do whatever and be alone. And we will be annihilating them. I'm now going to be using basic 9-1 infantry. The fascists have now started a war against us. Our finest hour is now upon us. The area around Beijing and the city itself is now under siege. Soon the red flag will fly over Beijing. The Chinese Red Army has now had another major victory. We have now encircled the region of Shandong, cutting it off from the nationalists. Almost immediately after our victory in Shandong, the Chinese Red Army now has moved to encircle and capture the city of Nanjing, crippling the fascist war machine. Now that we have defeated the fascists, we will be annexing their entire nation. From now on, our efforts are going to be on reunifying with all the rest of the warlords within China. Almost immediately, the other bourgeois warlords have left my faction. We will be annexing them, and I will also be forming a faction with the strongest nations in Asia, Mongolia and Tanatuba. Since the war with the remaining warlords is going to be one with a very large front, I'm making a bunch of really low quality infantry divisions to just hold the front with the Ma's and Xinjiang. I did also start a disastrous campaign in Xinjiang, so I abandoned it. I'm now beginning the final war of this video against Guangdong and the other remaining warlords to reunify China at long last. I'm not going to fight the Japanese because, quite frankly, they're too strong. There's nothing really worth showing in this war. However, the Guangdong clique is the only major power, so I just have to capitulate them and then we've won. And there we have it, we have capitulated the Guangdong clique, and with that, the rest of the warlords here in China. I'm going to be annexing them all, and now we have a fully reunited China under Mao Zedong. I hope you enjoyed that video. Have a good rest of your day or night, and if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments.